Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in the video, and today Cleveland Browns have announced their starting quarterback for Week 1. That's going to be veteran Joe Flacco, who started, if you include wild card loss, he has started 6 games for the Cleveland Browns and Kevin Stefanski. So he's going with the guy that has started the most for him. Shador Sanders and Dylan Gabriel are rookies. Kenny Pickett is hurt and has not started a game for Stefanski. I think there's a lot of, you're comfortable with Joe Flacco. There are a couple guys in the offense that are comfortable with Joe Flacco. Jerome Ford played with Joe Flacco. So did David Njoku. I felt like Joe Flacco and David Njoku had a lot of chemistry. Flacco sure had a lot of chemistry with, with Amari Cooper, but David Njoku and Joe Flacco had some great chemistry. I'm excited to see those two guys out there again this year. I think as long as Joe Flacco, I think David Njoku, as long as he's healthy, no matter who's playing quarterback, he should succeed. But I think if Joe Flacco's out there, he might succeed. He might succeed more. Such an underrated tight end as well, David Njoku is. But so Njoku and Ford are familiar with him. Stefanski is a play caller and being, the head coach and the offensive coordinator is familiar with Flacco as well. And I just don't like the idea of putting an inexperienced rookie in Shador Sanders or Dylan Gabriel out there Week 1. I don't like the idea of playing Kenny Pickett, because why would you put Kenny Pickett over Joe Flacco? I think what they should do is just trade Kenny Pickett and keep Gabriel and Shador Sanders behind Flacco and let those two young, promising guys learn from Joe Flacco, a veteran who has won and played in many ball games in his career. But it seems like the Browns are going to keep all 4 of these guys, which to me is stupid. Before the San Francisco 49ers Philadelphia Eagles championship game, where the 49ers had 2 quarterbacks get injured in that game, the NFL changed the rules. Before all that happened, before the NFL changed the rules where you could have 3 active quarterbacks, on game day, most teams didn't carry 3 quarterbacks on the active roster. Now, sure, there were some that did, but a couple years ago, most teams didn't even carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster. Now, since the NFL has changed the rules, and since that 49ers NFC championship game, a majority of teams keep 3 on the active roster. And so just the fact of thinking about it, to have 4 quarterbacks on your 53-man roster, it seems like a waste. And it seemed like such a Cleveland Browns decision to do, to have 4 quarterbacks on your active roster. I think the smart thing to do would be, since you're starting Flacco, that's the right decision. Let Gabriel and Sanders learn from him and watch him, and trade Kenny Pickett. Get a pick swap. You can maybe potentially trade Kenny Pickett with a 6th-round pick and get back a 5th-round pick is something I'm thinking. That I think that'd be better than having 4 quarterbacks on your active roster. Move Pickett and a 6th-round pick for a 5th. Definitely, you could potentially work that out. But we will see what happens. But I'm excited to see Flacco Week 1. I think what he's dealing with in Week 1 defensively is an easy matchup. This Bengals defense, we haven't seen all their starters out there yet. We're gonna see what they do tonight, but they didn't have all their starters last week in the preseason. But I think that they're still gonna be a weak defense. Maybe they might be a little bit more improved, but I still think they're gonna be a weak defense. And with that being said, I think they've got a chance to be a little bit better, and that would be great, because that would probably help the Bengals win a couple more ball games. But I don't think they're going to be a lot better, just a tiny bit. And with a talented quarterback like Flacco, with solid weapons like Jerry Jeudy and David Njoku, Cedric Tillman, he's got some solid weapons. I'm not going to go ahead and say the Browns are going to win Week 1, but Joe Flacco might be able to put up some solid numbers in Week 1 playing that Bengals defense. I'd still go with the Bengals to win, but I think Joe Flacco could put up some solid numbers. Let me know your thoughts on the Browns announcing Joe Flacco as the Week 1 starting quarterback in the comment section, and peace out.